Getting ready. Just getting ready. What do you say, right now? I put on, like, for the editor later, which is also me. Hi. Put the disclaimer here on the screen, for however long. Disclaimers, all that. We'll let music play for a moment here before we totally get into what we're going to be talking about today. So yeah, put those up. Put everything you need to. Like, comment, subscribe. Last video, something came up in it. It was briefly mentioned, and I don't know why, but after I uploaded it, I was like, even though it's like supposed to be kind of just like me screaming into the void, something was bugging me. Now, I want to talk about these origins because I have a little bit of a theory, and some smarter people than I do also have that theory. The thing is, everybody who comes up with this theory, and it's just funny to me, all get incredibly discredited out of nowhere. What's that mean? I don't know, but I want to talk about this tiny one little thing about the origins of MKUltra, Project Artichoke, and originally Project Bluebird. So yeah, we're gonna get into that. Let me just do my thing here real quick. We'll probably put the title up, weird colors, music, like I did last time. Anyway, cheers everybody. The origins of, we're just gonna call it the project from now on, because it's Project Blue Book or Project Bluebird. Blue Book, shit, that's aliens. We'll talk about that some other day. Holy cow. But Project Bluebird, Project Artichoke, Project MKUltra, all three of those are kind of like just the same thing, just remixed every time, but by like the same people who said, fuck it, it didn't work the first time, let's do it again. For some reason, you already know how I feel about MKUltra, and it's kind of bullshit and one of the most evil things that has ever happened. Well, let's talk about why. Let's do a little bit of a prequel and shit. So, during the Korean War, right after World War II, during the Korean War, like that awkward time period of American history that none of us really learn about in history class for some reason. That's when this all started. So POWs were coming back from the war, like they were being returned or rescued and saved from the U.S. side. They were going over and getting them. Now, I did mention last time that this is when the United States government started noticing something up with their POWs, like they were spewing communist propaganda, as they said. We'll get to that in a second. And they had like Stockholm syndrome, basically, as we know it now. But they thought, like, holy shoot, man, the other side knows brainwashing. Let's try and learn it. Now, I didn't mention what those POWs, what they exactly were saying, okay? Because that's something that's a bit of an interesting tidbit that a lot of people leave out. A lot of other YouTubers, a lot of other news people, very few people talk about what the POWs were saying. Now, I'm not like spewing what they were saying is the truth or anything like that. In fact, this entire video at this point is for fun. It's all a theory. Let's just talk about stuff, yeah. It's like that, okay? What they were saying was they were bringing back reports of the United States using chemical and biological weaponry. Okay, that's what they were bringing back with them. That was the information they were saying. Like, hey, we saw you guys using this stuff. hey, we know of other prisoners or people who were affected by this while we were over there. We saw this happen. And these reports were being leaked to news organizations. And when asked about it, the army was like, no, they were brainwashed by communist scientists and torturers. And in fact, we're gonna try to figure out why. And that was like a little bit of a public hint to what was going on. And not that they were gonna try to figure out how and why and then use it. No, this is just an odd little thing. So, what, at that time, right around, where's my information here, began right around 1950-ish, right around the start of the Korean War. Project Artichoke replaced it in 1951, broadened the scope to include hypnosis, drugs, and other behavioral control methods, and in 1953, it was rebranded to MKUltra because that just sounds badass. Almost exactly when the POWs were being released and recounting their chemical warfare confessions. The official jurisdiction for these programs was to counteract enemy brainwashing, specifically the kind allegedly used on the North Korean POWs. This made for a very convenient public explanation, I would say. I'm just reading my notes exactly because I'm more articulate when I write stuff down. The reason the soldiers said the U.S. used germ warfare was not because it happened. No, it's not. That's not at all what happened. But because communists had found ways to rewrite their minds.
Huh?
That's the cover. Okay, that's with all, you know. I'm throwing all the same documents I've read in the description down below. You guys and you gals and you others come up with your own information here with that. But like, here's a couple more possibilities I wrote down just to see, because the rewrite mind thing is it's just so out there. But then again, these are real events that happened, so I don't know. The CIA decided to destroy a lot of documents from what seems to me, and this is my opinion, what's to inform opinions. Remember that, facts to inform opinions. CIA lied to cover up the biological warfare, and then was like, hold on, let's actually see if we can do this lie, so that way we're not lying. And they discovered stuff. But, you know, it could also be that the CIA really did fear communist psychological methods launched by mind control projects in genuine response. The chemical warfare allegations were entirely fabricated by the other side, possibly. That could be a thing. It could be partially true. The U.S. may have engaged in some biological weapon testing in Korea, and the mind control narrative was partially used to discredit POW confessions and muddy the waters. But then that's also like, why have these giant trove of documents about this crazy, you know, tinfoil hat like experiment to discredit something that honestly most Americans can probably admit in their hearts America is doing it, or at least had studied it. You know, we have some, well, not now due to all these cuts and everything, but some of the best biological labs, weapon labs, and just general purpose designs for destruction of among any country in existence in history. That is just a thing. So maybe a flu that can also make your head explode is not something off the table. The possibility 3 is a pure cover story. The mind control programs may have been emphasized or even fast-tracked in public official narratives to draw attention away from actual war crimes. In this scenario, the CIA behavioral research existed, and its connection to the Korean War brainwashing threat was inflated to protect the U.S. image. That could, honestly, like, even though I just screamed that can't be true, it's like, when you say it out loud, though, right? That's also very much something the United States would think of to do. All of these possibilities are that. but it's just something funny I wanted to point out that no one actually talks about. Okay? And the problem is it's stupid hard to prove. It's like there's no way of proving this possibility unless you're like trying to think about it. You're tinfoil hatting, and let's be real, you know, hitting the za a little bit, like, and that's why this is an entirely opinion-based show, y'all. Like, but I'm just gonna say, from a timeline perspective, like, use your eyes. Come on, this is weird. I honestly, my conclusion is this: what I will think, and I can probably be proven wrong, and am willing to change my opinion, either by people pointing it out in the comments or the government paying me off with a substantial amount of money. Just saying, you don't have to torture me, you don't have to throw me off of buildings or anything. Just big amounts of money into my bank account. I'll totally take whatever narrative you want to throw out there. Big monies. I will be a loud ass pundit. However, right now I'm not being paid anything. And the people paying me are my viewers. You all are the best. Thank you for showing up. Bottom line, my opinion is like it feels something's fishy there. I think it's a mix. I honestly think they came back, had this Stockholm Syndrome, communist propaganda, or actually more than likely saw some kind of weaponry of illegal use being used by the United States. And the United States was like, yo, that's not true, it's brainwashing. Work on brainwashing at the same time, because it was right after World War II with German super weapons and Project Paperclip and all that crazy mustache man nonsense, which he was known for doing ridiculous stuff, and we had just integrated into our science. So I would say, yeah, both can have happened. Both can have happened at the same time. It's just something, you know, we gotta talk about why this odd thing started as well. Anyway, y'all, thank you all for watching me rant and scream about more papers and stuff. I think we're gonna call this series Let's Get Put on a List. I think it's fun. We're gonna talk about other stuff sooner or later. I don't know what the next video is gonna be. I wanted the next video to be like something fun. I'm still working on some fun other non-serious stuff on the inside, but this is like easy fun content to get out there. If you all like this video, please give it a thumbs up. That actually helps the algorithm. And comment down below, tell me your biggest tinfoil hat conspiracy things you want me to cover. Also, after a few more videos, I will be putting out the music I use for these videos. It's all produced by me, do not worry. I will put that out there for you all to use for your own projects and your own content. All my music will be open source as long as you credit me and send back to Black Tie Black Suit wherever you found it. Also, if you want to support the show monetarily, make sure to check out that Ko-fi link down below, as well as our merch store. On top of that, I stream about 6 nights out of the week. Been doing a lot of EVE Online, a lot of Peak, and you know, just some random stuff thrown in there as well with me and my buddies. It's always a good time over there. Tons of cool stuff if you sub and support there as well as in the Ko-fi thing down there. We got a ton of rewards that I want to get rolling out to all of you. Again, thank you so much. Like, subscribe, all that. Love, peace, chicken grease. Don't trust the man. Be hoteps for your best lives. I don't know if that'll make it, but yeah. Good night, everybody.